Return to Silent Hill. This movie really should have been a great one. The game and the remake have a good story that explores themes of guilt and many other taboo topics. They also have great atmosphere, great sound design, great monster design. So let me start out by saying this. The director definitely gets Silent Hill. He directed 2006. That first movie I thought was pretty good until the end. The atmosphere was there. The music's there. This one has moments of that. Silent Hill 2006 was a good effort and way better than its sequel. Return to Silent Hill, unfortunately, isn't as good as Silent Hill 2006. There's some good ideas, just not well executed. I think tying this movie into the cult isn't a bad idea. There's many interesting things you could do with that, but it does take away from the more personal story that Silent Hill 2 is in the theme of guilt overall. If I was making this movie, I wouldn't have gone that route because I really think what makes Silent Hill 2 such a great story is how personal and tragic it is. Video game movies have come a long way. They used to always be awful. I do think Return to Silent Hill is better than Revelations, but that's not saying much. My first critique is the movie just doesn't look good. The CGI looks very cheap and obvious. Parts look like it could have been like a fan film. And I've seen some good fan films, but definitely had like a fan film vibe at some parts. Definitely had some rough spots. The CGI was pretty terrible throughout. It makes me miss practical effect. It's painfully obvious when a character's in front of a green screen. I should be talking though, right? So the movie follows James Sunderland just like the games. Hits some of the story beats that the game does. Introduces some new ideas, but just does not expand on them really at all. Skipping out on some of the best parts of the game. The actor that plays James does a fine job, but there's not much for him to do besides run objective to objective, just like in the game. Most of the supporting characters, which have their own traumatic stories, are severely cut down, or they're changed for the worse. For example, we see Eddie at the apartments. He's puking in the toilet just like in the game, but they don't show why or give you any idea as to why, and you never see him again. That's it. Just that he's got a few scenes with James and he's just gone. They also show Angela in the beginning, at the graveyard and in the hotel. They give her a couple moments, but they make her interchangeable with Mary, which I thought was a weird choice. Completely misses her whole arc, which is arguably the darkest story in Silent Hill 2. This movie doesn't really care about the side characters, so in this movie we shouldn't either. Silent Hill 2 is not just about James' guilt and trauma, it's about the town's guilt and trauma. It's about the side characters that are left over there. The movie's only about 100 minutes long, and they added in these flashbacks to flesh out James and Mary's relationship. I personally think focusing more on James' journey in Silent Hill and the side characters would have made for a better movie. I will say though, they brought back the scene with the nurses. They did in 2006, worked really well in 2006, worked really well here. There's a really good scene with Pyramid Head, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. In the game, James and Mary's relationship's very straightforward. There's a really impactful twist with it. I'm going to start talking about the twist of Silent Hill 2 and of the movie, so if you don't want to hear it, this is the time to cut away. Let's get into the real problem with this movie and what works really well in the game. So let's start with Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is pretty great in this movie when he is used, but it's very little. It kind of changed what Pyramid Head is as well. It's more of a reflection of James in this movie, where in the game it's more of the embodiment of his guilt. The movie went out of its way to make it seem that what James did was more out of mercy than selfishness. The movie takes that away. It kind of makes Pyramid Head less scary because he's not the embodiment of the guilt of James' selfishness, because the whole idea is facing that demon within yourself, and this movie kind of misses that point. Pyramid Head is neither as scary or as much of a threat as he is in the game. In the game, James gets a letter from his dead wife. She's been dead for 3 years. It's a good start. It's creepy, draws you in. The big twist, though, is Mary was sick and James killed her out of selfishness, and it wasn't 3 years ago. It was a couple hours ago. The whole game has been in the back seat of the car. James's guilt and regret made him have this whole journey to Silent Hill, whether Silent Hill is purgatory or his own head. That's out to interpretation. Like in the remake, the first thing I did was run up to the car. You see a rolled up blanket. You're like, yep, there she is. Bluebird knew what they're doing. In the movie, James gets a letter, but it's Mary. He doesn't know or believe that Mary's dead. He's got to go back to Silent Hill to find her. Kind of makes the stakes a little bit lower. Then they ruin the big twist. James killed her out of mercy instead of out of selfishness. In this one, Mary's father was the town founder and a big part of the cult. The cult poisoned her, so that's why she was sick, and he was putting her out of her misery. Because you're not supposed to like James. When you find that out, you find out with James why he's guilty, why this is happening. And he's supposed to be not a good character. And it kind of makes the journey. You're with this guy and you're kind of the villain. The movie kind of takes away from that. James decides to go with the in-water ending. He drives his Mustang to Toluca Lake. Then he wakes up and he is on a road and he runs into Mary. It's starting over. What I did like about this is it kind of hints at the theory that James is reliving them. Silent Hill 2 had a secret code. You found all these photos and spelt out you've been here for 2 decades, which is awesome. It's been a long-going fan theory. Cool of Bloober to put that in here. And I respect the director for adding that in. Problem is, you can nod to that in this, but you abandon the heart of what Silent Hill 2 is with your changes to the plot. Unfortunately, because I was hoping this movie would be great, it should be. I want to see someone take up this movie, someone that can get the atmosphere right, but also deliver us a personal, tragic, expanded story. You got to get the whole equation right. It's not just part of it. The game's had a lot going for it. This had some of the DNA there. It just didn't live up to what it should have been. I would like to see them do Silent Hill The Room. I'd like to see another director give this story a real shot, though. We'll be talking about this movie this Saturday during our live show. We're also going to be talking Scream theories and about Halloween the game. Make sure you catch up with us then. Also look out for more videos coming up on the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below with what Silent Hill you'd like to see them do next or your thoughts of the movie down below. I'll catch you on the next one. Thor out.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday, but you never did. Well, I'm alone there now, in our special place, waiting for you.